Hey folks, I was looking over my replays from last night and thought that this would be a good match to talk about some basic strategy at a beginner's level. I'll be running the footage from two perspectives in the background during the theory section, and then we'll go through them while pausing in the practical section. Let's start by quickly going over the force gauge and health management. I'll flash up the screens from the in-game tutorial, so please pause and read them if you haven't seen them before. Got it? Let's proceed. In Gundam Versus, the general strategy involves killing the lower cost suit first in order to overcost the stronger suit. This decreases the total health that the team has, which means you have to do less damage to them overall in order to win. We'll see this overcost in first person when we go through the replays. The flip side of this strategy is that the stronger suit needs to demand your attention so that you must focus on him, so he dies first and revives with full health. People who know how to play this game will focus on killing the weaker suit in order to overcost the stronger one, so it's important that you adjust your tactics to account for this. There's a nuanced concept in the game called front and back that I won't describe in too much detail here, mostly because it's complicated, but also because my team in this match kind of breaks the rule. But essentially, the front is the powerful, high-cost suit that's demanding all of that attention and dies first. The lower-cost back suit helps the front by backing him up and not overcosting him by dying first. The front needs to protect the back if attention shifts to him, because it will overcost him if he dies first. But you'll see in a second why this very basic description of front and back doesn't fully apply here. In this match, my team consists of the 500 cost Wing Zero piloted by me and the 200 cost Doan Zaku 2 piloted by a friend of mine who's a new player. The enemy team has a 500 cost Epion and a 400 cost Original Gundam. Using what I talked about with overcost and front and back, the enemy team actually fits this perfectly. Epion as a 500 should be out in front, getting all the attention and doing the big damage. Gundam as a 400 should be backing up Epion and should avoid dying first so he doesn't overcost Epion if he dies. My team's a little different. Even though I'm the powerful high-cost 500, I will not be playing in front. And even though Doan Zaku is a low-cost, low-health 200, he's not playing back. When considering the attack and support positions, or front and back positions, cost is not the only deciding factor. You should also consider the capability of the suits your team has chosen and your own playstyle. In this situation, Doan Zaku is a strong melee-focused character. A back unit should have strong ranged attacks, so even if Doan wanted to play back, it would be a little harder for him to do so. So out in the front he goes, and that means he's going to die first and overcost me. However, you only get overcosted if you die. So since I decided that I'll be playing back as a 500, I need to never ever die, and also help my low health front to not die too quickly. That was a bit of a long introduction, but keep all these things in mind as we watch this replay. We'll do it from my perspective first. Right away, I see Gundam going towards my partner, so I switch to defend him. Too late to save him and he gets knocked down, putting me in a disadvantaged 1 vs 2 situation. Epion comes back to protect his back, and I immediately defend. I get one hit in, but his partner is back and interrupts my counterattack. My partner's back too, and knocks Epion down. I go back into formation behind Doan as the attention shifts to my front. I need to protect him. Epion is extremely dangerous if he gets a touch, so I have to prevent him from touching too much. I stopped one attack there, then try to go for big damage as I predict he's going to attack Doan again. Another good decision from the enemy Gundam to shoot me while I do this, but I fulfill my purpose of not letting Epion hit my partner. Gundam gets some pretty good damage off of that attack. While I'm downed, they both can focus on my partner without my intervention. This is how you create the advantageous 2 vs 1 situation. Knock down one enemy or kill him, then focus attack on the other guy while he's incapacitated. My partner manages to avoid Epion and gets a couple of hits on Gundam, but Epion catches up. I go to stop Epion's attack, but my partner's striker actually did it before me. Gundam still follows up and kills Doan. Gundam accidentally downs Epion, which prevents both of them from focusing on me while my partner is dead. I square off with Epion and come out on top with my striker killing him. Ideally, Gundam should run away at this point until his front returns, but he decides to attack and gets punished for it. Doan takes him out. Assessing the situation now, our team is in good shape. My health isn't too low, Doan is at full health, and we have a lot of the force gauge left. On the enemy team, however, their force gauge is as low as it can get. Epion has a lot of health, but we see Gundam has revived in an overcost state with dramatically lower health. This is where my tactics change, and theirs should have as well. I abandoned my front to focus on Gundam. Even if Doan dies, we still have more than enough force gauge to survive a little while longer. The enemy team, if they still wanted to win, should turtle up initially. Really bad usage of burst there by Gundam. He should have saved it for when he was getting hit. Gundam should have kept his distance and moved evasively, giving Epion time to regroup with him if he managed to kill Doan. But that's not happening today. Let's switch perspectives to that Gundam now. Rushing ahead of your front is probably not the best way to start, but he managed to get the first down in, creating a 2 versus 1 situation against me. Despite my defensive efforts, they still managed to take me down. This was good, though I noticed here he doesn't know how to Zunda. Ideally, he should have switched off of me as soon as the target cursor turned yellow, which means I'm invulnerable to attack, so he could see what my partner was doing. Maybe he could have prevented some of the damage Epion takes here. He should have switched targets here when Epion started this combo. He might have been able to stop me from cutting Epion if he was quick enough. His movement isn't great here either. He should have dashed into a better position to hit me, rather than shooting the walls. Still, he gets a nice damaging combo off on me, as I leave myself vulnerable with that big attack. With me down, we're back to 2 versus 1 against Doan, but he took too long to switch off with me again. Doan attacks from his blind spot and knocks him down. The two of them manage to kill Doan together, but not before Epion's health gets to critical levels. Let's pause and assess the situation now. Epion's almost dead, and Gundam's health is pretty low. As the high cost front, Epion should prioritize dying ASAP, because Gundam can die in one combo now. If Gundam dies first, Epion would respawn with just a sliver of health, so Epion should effectively throw himself in front of us to die, and Gundam should start getting some distance away from me. Let's continue. Indeed, Epion dies, but Gundam sticks around. I noted his poor movement earlier, so I think this is purely because he's new to the game and doesn't know how to move efficiently. Ideally, he should still hang back and avoid dying, because we as a team will focus on overcosting him now. Yet he pushes forward, not understanding the dire health situation he's in, and he dies. Now watch his health as it respawns. Gundam at 400 cost normally has 620 health, but the force gauge now only has 100 points left. So he respawns with 100 out of 400 of his cost, which is a quarter, and his health is also roughly quartered, which means he respawns with only 160 health. Essentially a one combo death. If he wants to win, he has to use the defensive movement that he doesn't know how to do to try and stay alive and give Epion time to regroup. But without that knowledge, he pushes forward. This is a very, very bad decision to burst here, as the burst was the only option he had to save himself if he got hit. With 160 health, he could die in one combo, but with a full burst bar, he could save himself from taking the full damage. How he's used to it, and it's a sitting down. So there you have it, a run through of a beginner's level match with some of the theory and strategy behind it. If I could give that Gundam player some direct feedback, I'd tell him that he should first learn some of the basic movement. Boost dashing and boost hopping would have gotten him into some better situations there. Next, I'd say he should switch targets a little faster, as that might create more opportunities to attack or to defend your partner from attacks. He did make some good moves though, so I think if he refines those 2 points, he'll be even more successful. Thanks for watching, and if there is a next time, I'll see you then.